I'm Brock Hightower. I went here from 2006 until 2008. While I was here, I was on the leadership team. I don't know if that's still a thing. Ran track, played 8th grade football, and wrestled. Did Science Olympiad for a couple of years, and just kind of involved in a little bit of everything here. I went on to private school after middle school here, and then after school there, I went to the Naval Academy. And so I'm here at the Naval Academy right now on spring break, and I'm a senior at the Naval Academy, which is in Annapolis, Maryland, if any of you don't know. And I'm about to graduate this fall, and when I graduate, I'm going to go fly airplanes for the Navy. So I'm going to go to flight school in July, where I'll spend about 2 years learning how to fly all the different planes, and then get my pick of which plane I want to fly after that. So while I'm at the Naval Academy, so right now I'm what we call a firstie, which is a senior, and the seniors run the entire school. We're in charge of everything except for teaching the classes, basically. So I am split up in a company right now, and I'm in charge of 40 underclass every part of their day. I'm in charge of making them work out in the morning, working out with them, make sure they get to all their classes, make sure their grades stay up, everything goes well. In extracurricular life, give them all kinds of counseling, give them permission to go anywhere because it's pretty strict rules about leaving the naval base there, and just kind of oversee those 40 people right now. And then so talk to you guys a little bit about the testing that's coming up and that kind of thing, and how I see that applying to you guys right now. So I guess when I was kind of in middle school, I tried my best, but I didn't really see the impact of what the different testing had later on. And so I've kind of found out over the years is that your grades, they follow you wherever you go. And really, you get judged by them a lot more than you think you would. So at the Naval Academy, we get graded on absolutely everything we do, whether it's class, how fast we can run our physical fitness test, our leadership style, everything like that is graded and ranked. And that's kind of how college and different jobs will work in the future, where everything you do, you'll be ranked against the other people doing the same thing as you. So in my career now, they look at 160 of us in our company, and usually about the top 10 people will get the leadership jobs, get the promotions, and get to actually have a leadership role in the school. And that's something that kind of starts all the way back here. So you get your grades started, and that gives you better classes in high school. It gets you better opportunities to lead, whether it be on teams, whether it be different student organizations, things like that. It sets you up on a path that if you don't start out on the right path early, it's really hard to get back in that groove and to catch up ground. It's easy to maintain your higher grades, but it's really hard to catch back up with your GPA and that kind of thing. And then obviously, when you build the habits now, they really stick with you. You get used to taking tests, you get used to dedicating your time management, to figuring out when I can do my homework and when I can do sports and my social activities. I think that's kind of the biggest thing that you guys can work on now, is just figuring out how to schedule your time properly to where when you reach high school and things start really piling up, that you can still figure out how to accomplish everything, and not just accomplish it, but do it actually well. And when you build those habits now, especially early on, now that you're starting to learn things that will actually really be added on in high school, your math classes, things like that are really not much different here, especially between 8th grade and 9th grade, really similar subjects, things like that. You start building your habits now, and just puts you on the right path to succeed, and you keep those habits going through high school and keep your high GPA and things like that, and really sets you up for whether it be college or any kind of career path you want. Those habits and things you learn now really pay off in the long run. And that's something I didn't really see as a middle schooler as much as I did in high school, when we started talking about college and that kind of thing, and looking at our GPAs and figuring out how am I supposed to raise it this much to be competitive in just a year or two, when the people who started off on the right foot just had to maintain. They didn't have to do any extra work to try and make themselves more competitive. The classes that I'm in now, whether it be aerospace engineering or thermodynamics, which learn how engines work from a scientific level, things like that, all are a continuation of the things you start learning in around middle school times. When you start learning math and algebra, things like that, it's just a continuation. So if you do the things right now and you really learn the material now and understand it, instead of just trying to copy down the answers or figure out what the right answer is, if you figure out the process now, then even things like aerospace engineering just kind of fall into place later on. Right now I'm about to graduate and I'll go down to Pensacola, Florida, to flight school, which is 2 years, and we fly every plane or helicopter in the Navy while I'm down there, about 10 different aircraft and plus the different training planes for them, and do everything from landing on carriers and taking off carriers to dropping bombs and shooting guns, stuff like that. Yeah.
Now, when we get people in here, a lot of them tell us just about their career and their education, but nobody really tells us how hard it is when you first start off getting your money and getting a place to live and everything. So.
Yeah, so I've definitely, going to college was kind of a big step, leaving kind of your parents' reign and stuff like that. And I'm probably not the best person to ask, because where I go, I'm told where I have to live, I'm told when I have to wake up, when I have to go to sleep, when I have to do work, when I can eat. Everything is very strict military schedule. It's kind of like school and boot camp mixed together. And so it's kind of hard in that aspect for me to answer those kind of questions. But I am, I guess, about to graduate and go off into the actual world now, or most people kind of start before me. And it is tough when you're not necessarily under your parents' control, I guess, anymore. And those are kind of habits that you can set early on. Learning skills, helping cook or clean or whatever, doing those kind of things, where when you are off, it's much easier to just kind of take that step and leave when you can at least kind of take care of yourself and figure out how to feed and clothe yourself and understand how taxes work, stuff that just asking the questions to your parents or teachers or whatever, where they don't necessarily teach you in school, how to balance a checkbook, that kind of stuff. So that's stuff that it's really good just to kind of pay attention and just keep asking as it kind of comes up at home. Yeah.
How hard was it for you to get to where you are now?
It was a lot of work, I will tell you that. So I worked really hard to do everything I could to make myself look better for colleges, and I started that really early on, even in middle school, honestly, trying to balance sports and a couple clubs and good grades. And then I did the same thing in high school, where I was trying to find clubs and things that made me look good in the areas that I was trying to show. So like for the academy, I wanted to show them that I was a good leader, and I wanted to, I actively tried to be a leader in high school, and just to show them that I am capable of being a good leader, that kind of thing. So, as try to be part of student government, and I was the editor of the newspaper, and try to do everything I could to show that I can do hard tasks and kind of be in charge of other people and help other people accomplish something. And so it was definitely a lot of work. And then playing sports on top of that, showing that I can be a leader outside of school and like a sports team, and sticking with those same activities, like my whole 4 years of high school, to show that I'm like dedicated and stuff like that. And so it's a lot of work, but you know, if you really work hard and know how to make yourself, you know, look more competitive and prove that you're a good candidate to do something, then it really pays off. So all that stuff started in middle school here with, I joined, there was a leadership team in 8th grade that I was part of, and that really started, honestly, like started and got me interested in being in a position where I could work with other people and like accomplish something with other people rather than just do something myself.
Thank you so much.